Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Mike Lee Cullen II, and with me, as always,
is Sesame Bloodstone Encarta.
I like it. Not sure why you chose that, but I like it.
I like it too.
Oh, I get it. I'm joking. No,
Yeah.
I knew why you chose it. I thought I'd play that off, but no. So today on the show, people that are listening, first off, I just want to say thank you, people, for listening. I appreciate you listening. I'm starting it off being nice to people because I'm in a generous mood. And I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for going to all2real2.com. Thank you for sharing the show with your friends. And thank you for going to our Patreon and our TeePublic. And thank you for doing anything. Thank you for writing the name of our podcast in the sky using, an airplane and stuff. Thank you. Thank you for buying those billboards all up and down the country that say All Too Real 2. Thank you for wearing T-shirts, homemade ones and ones you buy that say, listen to All Too Real 2. Thank you for just randomly giving me $1 million. Thank you for all of that. You're all so nice.
Yeah, it's I totally don't know what you're doing there. It's some weird form of reverse psychology, but yes, thank you for paying us. It's so awesome.
Yes, thank you for everything. Thank you. Thank you for setting it up so next week on the show we can interview Tom Cruise. And talk about Scientology. Wait, what? I think I'm taking this in the wrong direction now. Anyway, so no, but seriously, folks, go check out all those things I just talked about. All2real2.com, and
you'll find
help support the show in some way. And if you do know Tom Cruise and he does want to, break his silence about Scientology and wants to be on our show to do it, that'd be really weird. But I'll talk to him.
It'll be like the interview, like where Eminem says he's gay. Now that would be like our break, like as journalist or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
And then suddenly the U.S. government would be like, "All right, we're gonna make you guys do a covert mission in like Russia, or like whatever."
Yeah. We're gonna have to kill Vladimir Putin like Molly on SNL.
That's her mission. That's our mission now. And then
yes,
very dangerous mission. No, we're just kidding. We're not going to try to kill. Not going to try to kill a leader of a sovereign nation. That's really bad.
No,
thing to say.
I promise I am not going to kill anybody else. I mean kill anybody.
Well,
Well, wait, what?
don't get me wrong. It's not like I haven't thought about it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. You know?
I did not say else. That was a Freudian. I'm
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
don't go to Reno. Anyway, so where I shot a man just to watch him die.
That's like serial killer vibes right there. That lyric.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, seriously, it's like, wait, you just want to see what would happen? Like that's like creepy, dude. Like,
Well, Johnny Cash almost completely destroyed a bird, a species of bird. So
oh jeez,
yeah, with a forest fire that he created. He destroyed
really?
he destroyed a bunch of trees too and stuff. Yeah.
Was that when he was like high or something?
Yeah, but he claims that it was like a spark from his like grill or something. I don't remember.
Okay.
Look into it, folks. About the forest fire that Johnny Cash created.
Oh my god, yeah, I'll check that out.
I mean, still love the guy, but anyway, so love his music. But the today on the show we are covering the Marvel Studios special presentation. It's the first of that kind to be on Disney Plus, at least. Entitled Werewolf by Night. This was written by Heather Quinn and Peter Cameron. Story by Heather Quinn. Directed by Michael Giacchino. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Who's primarily known as a film composer. He is known for speaking of Tom Cruise, he's done a lot of the Mission Impossible soundtracks. He did the music for Lost. He did music for some Star Wars stuff. He did music for some Star Trek stuff. He works a lot with J.J. Abrams. He did the Incredibles soundtrack. He did Ratatouille, Up, and Coco. He did some of the music on all those. Did the score for Zootopia. Did all of the Spider-Man movies that have been recently in the MCU. Also worked on Rogue One, Thor: Love and Thunder, Cloverfield, TV show Fringe, which is really good.
Yeah,
a lot of things. So
yeah, man, that's like
he's a really talented guy. Really talented guy. So what was your initial reaction to this special here?
Oh man, I loved it. I'm not usually into like horror stuff, especially if it's like slasher stuff, but I like things that are like creepy and have like an eerie vibe to it and like suspense and and just had all that and then some more. And then I mean, because it had like it had like a Marvel, because these are actual Marvel characters, so it was really interesting. And then they're just sort of like either lesser known or they're just like not in the same style of like I like how they're getting away, or not giving away, how they're exploring things that are beyond like just like the superhero stuff, like Captain America, Spider-Man, Thanos and stuff. Like we're getting into like the supernatural, gods, spiritual realms, um, all that stuff. I mean, even stuff that's like beyond like Doctor Strange, even because like he's like going into different realms and using magic from that kind of thing. But like here, like we're talking about like monsters or so-called monsters who actually live like in our world that just like are hidden or they live like beneath the surface or whatever. So like that's pretty cool. And then I really like the the black and white that they did most of it in, and it was, I'm not sure if it was total black and white, if it was a little bit color, I can't really tell, but like I don't know.
It was
It's just
black. It was black and white. It's basically
okay.
to like invoke the old like Universal horror films. Um,
Yeah,
with the
like
exception of certain things like the Bloodstone itself was red. But
well, yeah. So they had a little bit of color, but I really love the very introduction when they do the Marvel and they start off with the Marvel theme music, and then immediately you start hearing screaming sounds and slashings
yeah, and
on the Marvel thing,
like
and then it
growling
goes
from a
to a
werewolf or something.
minor key of the Marvel theme song,
That's
and it
cool.
kind of had like this really eerie vibe to it,
Yeah,
and then like the Marvel logo itself went into like white, and there was like lightning strikes and slashings like a werewolf, and it was like I was like, oh man, like here we go, like we're gonna get into something really cool here. And then yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was really good. I watched it. I watched the first half once, and then I had to go to bed. Then I rewatched the whole thing like a day or two later, and I was like yeah, man, this is good.
yeah. I only watched it once, but I really liked it. I was gonna try to watch it again today before we talked about it, but I got busy at work and wasn't able to after work at all. So I really loved it. I thought it was really well done. Giacchino did a great job directing it for being one of his first directing jobs. He's done smaller things here, like short films and some TV work too before this, but this is kind of his first big adventure, I would say. Um, I did like though that we had this kind of like practical set for the piece too, like where there wasn't like it didn't seem like a lot of CGI or blue or green screen sort of stuff or stuff in the volume like they do on Mandalorian or anything.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean it was pretty straightforward. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
and it all seemed. I mean, it was kind of pretty contained too. It was almost like a bottle episode of a TV show too, because it was like it's not just one room, but it's all in this like one location.
yeah, it didn't take place like in the city or whatever. It was just like uh well, in an estate basically is
Yeah,
what it was. I mean, uh but goddamn, I mean that was I was kind of surprised a little bit because I I knew that Moon Knight's very first appearance was in the comic book Werewolf by Night.
yes.
It was interesting because Moon Knight came out first, and then so I wonder if they're going to be setting something up with various characters because they are kind of. I mean, they set up Blade already. They set up
Yeah, but
the
that's
the other.
that's being postponed sadly. But yeah.
Oh shit! Okay.
Did you hear about that at all?
No, I don't think
So
so.
so the director quit,
Of course.
and now and Mahershala Ali, who's playing Blade, didn't like the script either.
Uh,
So they're rewriting it, I guess, and they don't know when they're going to start filming yet
so it's
because of that.
basically it's gonna get scrapped. That
No,
sucks.
they're still going to make it because that's too um they they're gonna have to. I mean, because they've already set things up, and Blade's too popular of a character for them not to make it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just gonna be postponed. Who knows when?
Okay.
But
Well.
but I do know that they're going to be doing it because I mean we're kind of going into this whole supernatural realm of the MCU with Moon Knight and these characters and even some things with Doctor Strange and other things. We're venturing down that road, and I think eventually there's a group of people that that Werewolf by Night was member of. He was what was his he he was a member of a group. I just read this the other day and I can't remember what it was, but like there's a group of like supernatural type characters that include Moon Knight and Blade and some other ones that were all like in a group together that were kind of like an Avengers sort of group.
Okay.
That dealt with like supernatural type things.
I mean, that's kind of cool. It makes sense. But yeah, I mean, they were setting up all these different type of characters. This guy being one of them, because yeah, the very first appearance of Moon Knight was in, an issue of Werewolf. But I'm not sure if it was even the first or even only issue of that. I don't know, but and it was interesting because he was actually paid as a mercenary to basically take in this werewolf alive, and then but then like somewhere down the road he got the idea to like team up with the werewolf to beat the guys. I don't know why. And then then he just let the werewolf go, I guess. And then but
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I also find it funny the character's name too. The Werewolf by Night's name is Jack Russell,
oh yeah.
like the terrier.
Oh, okay.
So it's like named after a dog.
That's like really demeaning and
Yeah.
but like it's interesting. So like, like this character is actually very multifaceted, which I like about him because he's kind of humorous. He's kind of doesn't really want to be there necessarily. It's like he's kind of stoic to some degree. It's just like I don't know. He's just kind of like a character of like somebody you would meet and like you wouldn't like necessarily like them very much, but you would still sort of like want to hang out with them. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
Yeah. And
it's just like one of those guys who's like kind of shut off, but like not totally, like.
yeah, Gael Garcia Bernal plays Jack Russell, and he's an amazing actor, anyways. So he's so charismatic. He brings the charisma to the character that it needed for our lead character.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have the character of Elsa Bloodstone, played by Laura Donnelly.
Oh god, I love her too. She's great.
She was good. the she's the daughter of Ulysses Bloodstone, who is a monster hunter who died, and all these people are trying to get this bloodstone that he had that was it means that you're the head monster hunter, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like because it kind of gives you some power and stuff like that. So it's like, so is that like a family,
Well,
or is it just called the Bloodstone family because you have the Bloodstone, or is it like an actual family?
In the comics, Ulysses Bloodstone got his name because he had the Bloodstone, not the other way around.
So basically, anyone
like
who
that
has the
that wasn't his original name. It was
so it's not like a family dynasty type of thing. It's like it's more of like a whoever wins it kind of becomes like the new patriarch or matriarch or whatever.
It's funny too when you go on Wikipedia and you look up Ulysses Bloodstone, the drawing of the character that they have there kind of looks like Fabio or something, like almost like he's like he's kind of like it's like a mix between like He-Man and Fabio or something, it's like,
well, maybe the Bloodstone made him like super attractive, and then that's what then like lured in the monsters, and then then they killed them with the Bloodstone, or
because he's got like this long flowing blonde hair. And
I mean, that was probably during the time when Fabio was like super popular, and maybe that's what they were kind of going for. Also, too, because like that, not Dungeons and
He made
Dragons.
his he made his first appearance in 1975. So
Okay, so that was before Fabio was like really
yeah.
famous,
So,
about 10 years or so. But
but yeah, it looks like he's kind of like got this like I don't know like almost like a He-Man meets Indiana Jones meets Fabio
it's very
look to
interesting.
him. Yeah. So
See, that's what I love about comic books. Like when they don't, like when they take chances and they take risks like that, where it's just like, let's see what happens. Like we'll just,
yeah,
like we're not gonna do like a support, not support group. We're not gonna do a
like a testing
yeah, there
group.
you
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
testing group, or
Yeah.
we're just gonna put it out here and see. I mean, fuck, that happened with Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Like he was not meant to be any kind of main character at all, and then suddenly he was in Man Thing, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what happened to this Howard the Duck guy? It was pretty cool." And then like,
He was like the Frasier of that comic book. You know,
yeah,
like
pretty
a
much.
character who was only supposed to be in a couple episodes, or the Urkel of that thing, you know, where he was only supposed to be in an
Yeah, the
episode or two,
Urkel.
and then became popular.
And he say, "Did I do that?" through quacking sounds, and then
Exactly.
I don't know
No,
what I'm
but
talking about, but
speaking of Howard and Man Thing,
yeah,
we have covered both Howard the Duck and Man Thing on this podcast. So
that's right. I forgot about that.
make sure you go and listen to those episodes, especially the Man Thing one, which we covered with our late friend Jamal Wallace Knight.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, it
It was a terrible movie.
yeah,
but
it's an amazing movie.
it is
a-
amazingly bad, but it's still fun to watch.
as is Howard the Duck. So
For different reasons. Well, because Howard the Duck, they were like going all in on interspecies relations.
Oh yeah.
Like like plus two, you had uh Leah Thompson or Thomas. I always forget her last name.
Thompson, yeah.
Thompson from Back to the Future, of course, who was and is insanely beautiful.
Yes.
And I know that's not the only thing you're supposed to care about.
No, but
like, oh my God, she was so gorgeous in Howard the Duck. Like it was like insane.
Yes.
Like understand, why the duck wanted to be with her. I don't understand why she wanted to be with the duck, but hey, whatever.
The thing is, I don't know if she did. I think she was just messing with him, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you
I
gotta
don't know.
gotta watch the movie and make your own decisions, people.
It
Yeah.
seemed pretty. I don't know. I'm just saying, but
And
plus that movie was a mess because you had like an actor who later on became like a hardcore, predator type person.
oh yeah, you got Jeffrey Jones in there, yeah.
Which of course, I mean,
yeah.
How would anyone know 10 years before?
I was just watching Beetlejuice the other day, and he's in that too. Anyway, so
sometimes you make a mistake. You don't know, but
yeah.
like,
speaking of Frasier, though, how I brought him up earlier, I didn't even mean this connection here. Harriet Sampson Harris is in this as Verussa Bloodstone. She played Frasier's agent on the TV series Frasier.
Oh, okay.
So, and she's an amazing actress. Really, like, eats up the scenery in this one, right?
Yeah.
In a good way. Like, it's like steals the movie.
She's very vicious, evil, angry. Yeah. Good shit, really.
Yeah, you've got supporting characters, including Kirk Thatcher, who's a director and puppeteer and actor and everything. So he's like worked with the Muppets. He was the punk rock guy on the bus in Star Trek 4, as well as on a recent episode of Picard that was directed by Leah Thompson.
Oh wow!
Back to her. It's all connected, man. It's all connected.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a small world out there, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So yeah, he plays the kind of Scottish guy in this Jovan or whatever, Scottish or French or whatever he is, the over the top guy.
Oh yeah, I know.
The guy with the
What
like
you're talking about.
the bow and arrow and stuff. Um. Anyway, so what do we got going on in this special?
Um, well, it's like it starts with the Marvel logo, and then goes into a minor key, and then it shows like a picture of like all six Avengers, and it says something like superheroes or whatever, and then fight for us or whatever. But then like it goes down. It says like, but what about the monsters who live beneath us or in the shadows or whatever? So you start seeing like really like gruesome or vicious kind of like monster heads or whatever. And then it starts talking about like all the different families who hunted monsters, and like the Bloodstone was pretty much like the most prominent of those families. So again, we kind of get into this cool idea of like certain families being part of like certain um syndicates, if you will, or whatever. And uh the narrator, what I love about the narrator is like he's like saying things that are like very obvious to like what we're seeing, but like that kind of adds like an extra layer of like the creepiness of it or whatever, because it's like Ulysses died, tonight is his funeral, and it's like kind of got that like already,
Yeah.
but like just him saying it kind of added like an extra thing. And then like all the but like a group of hunters were chosen based on their kill count to have the right to kill a monster that they've caught. And you know basically if they can kill the monster and each other, because they're all fair game basically, and then they can get possession of the bloodstone, and now they're the patriarch or matriarch of that particular we don't even know what it is, device or some kind of
Yeah, and it's
I've
like
read
it gives them power when they're fighting against monsters, and it's also
it's
they also
yeah,
kind of become the like pope of monster hunters in a way or something. Like
it's like
they're
it's a
like
weird thing.
yeah.
And plus I've heard some theories that may have been like a missing infinity stone at one point that it found its way into like I don't know. I shouldn't talk about
I
that
mean
because I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean I've heard other theories that it might be connected to Wanda as well, like some of the
Oh, okay.
because of the red
Uh,
light on it and stuff and everything too. But who knows? I mean, who knows what the MCU is setting up, because it could be anything.
it literally, yeah, it could just be like a magic stone or just whatever. But
It
and
it
plus
it
too,
it, it, it could be like a like one of those one of those ring pops, that is like red that you can suck on, and then all this, and it's
oh
like
yeah,
it's candy.
yeah. I mean, I guess it could be, but I don't know. And then
You don't think they're
but
gonna go that route?
no, I don't think so. But I love the cinematography because so you got the main character who's going to be the werewolf, but he's in human form, and he's walking through like this hallway, and he's seeing all these picture or paintings of like people killing monsters throughout like the ages. And then it goes into like an open circle type of room from the hallway, so it kind of has like this constrictive or constricted thing. He's walking through like a narrow hallway, and then we get into an open circle, so it's kind of like, for me, kind of like let me breathe easy for a minute, like, oh, what's beyond that hallway? And it's like, oh good, it's just like an open circle. And then all the warriors are kind of just hanging out, looking at like the different paintings, and the the sort of big obnoxious guy starts talking to him like, hey, that's any of those your handiwork or whatever. And he's like, no, not really. Then he points to some monster. Like him though, I fought him a few times though. And then then like he tries to touch the bloodstone first because he's trying to get it, I guess. And then that's when he got caught a little bit by that guy, like asking him, oh yeah, that's a beauty, ain't it, or whatever, and all this kind of shit. And it's like, god damn it, I was trying to grab the bloodstone here. But and then this like dude who's guess like kind of like the servant of the family or something, like this old guy.
Yeah.
He whispers into Verusa that Elsa is here. So then like she goes like marching into the hallway to ask her like what the hell's going on because she hasn't been home in like 20 years or something like that. And saying that she was a disgrace to her father and the biggest disappointment of his life
Yeah,
and
because
all this kind of
Verusa
stuff.
is her stepmom and not her mom.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
it's
So we
kind of
got the
a
evil stepmother
yeah.
trope, like I did what I could with you, but you were too much like your mother and all this. So we don't know then what her mother do. Did she go against the family's business too, or whatever? Who knows? But technically, Elsa. So the Bloodstone was actually supposed to be inherited by Elsa. So I guess it was kind of like somewhat of a family dynasty a little bit because otherwise they wouldn't have had this hunt if she would have like stayed with the family or
Interesting
whatever.
thing, I was looking up Elsa from the comics here.
Mm-hmm.
She has a brother named Cullen Bloodstone.
Interesting.
His first name is my last name. That's weird.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I love that name too. I loved all the names. Like Verusa, that's an interesting name. Verusa Bloodstone. It just has kind of like an eerie vibe to it. All the names, especially
Yeah.
Ulysses, that's not really a common name anymore either. Ulysses Bloodstone, Elsa
Ulysses,
Bloodstone.
yeah. You
They,
like when you hear Ulysses, you think of like Ulysses Grant or something.
yeah, I do like literally because that's the only person I know of who has that name. Verusa,
I was
I think I
I
may have heard that name once before.
I'm really curious right here on this Cullen Bloodstone. I was looking up to when he was first appeared in the comics,
Mhm.
and it was December of 2012. That was after the Twilight books had been out,
Oh, interesting.
and their last name is Cullen, and this is kind of a
Ye-
horror based character. So I'm wondering if that influenced.
That probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got all
Hmm.
this shit, uh, you know, Elsa's being very disrespectful on purpose just to piss off her stepmother. Because right as her stepmom's about to give her big speech, Elsa just takes a chair, just drags it for a really long time.
Yeah.
Sit down, like, and uh,
Yeah, we've
and
got.
then like, yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
oh, yeah, I was going to say we they basically we set up the game here where they got to hunt, and there's like a big maze on the grounds of the manor, and there's a captured monster in there that we don't know what this thing is, but they put the bloodstone inside the monster, and basically whoever gets the bloodstone, wins. You know,
They,
your
yeah,
your
she
your
said it
your
was
your, your typical game of find the bloodstone inside the monster, right?
basically meaning that like the only way you're gonna get it is if you kill the monster. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's no other way of capturing it.
But we,
But
we,
she
we,
said,
we used to play that on the playgrounds as a kid where
what?
we would have to some kids were playing capture the flag and stuff, but we were playing
Yeah,
capture the bloodstone out of the monster.
capture the bloodstone. Yeah,
Yeah.
with a bunch of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she does this like really weird thing where apparently Ulysses like orchestrated like he made a recording, I guess, before he died about like what the hunt was going to be about, and like they had like his body to be like animatronically controlled as like the audio is being played, and then he says, "I'll be rotting for you." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, graveyard humor."
If
And
I
I'm just
if
like,
I if I die before you, can you make sure that they do that to me too?
I mean, sure, but I mean, I don't know, but it might be weird, but
I'm joking. That would be creepy as fuck.
and she's sitting there laughing at it. She was saying how like everyone else is kind of like creeped out by this, like what? And then like kind of like questioning, like should I be here right now? And then
It's like a dead body turned into one of those like presidents in the Hall of Presidents at Disney World or
Yeah,
something. You know, it's like,
that's what it looked like,
yeah.
literally. What I don't understand though is that he died the night before. This is my only
hmm
nitpick for the entire movie or short movie or whatever. Because everything else I loved like
Yeah.
completely. This is the one thing that my nitpicking is that he was supposed to have died the previous night, but it looks like they
Mm-mm.
dug up his corpse who's been dead for like 2 months. So
I mean, he
I
was.
don't
I mean, the thing is maybe he was a really old dude and was already kind of gaunt and stuff. You know,
maybe
that could.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. But like
Yeah.
and yeah, that's I mean that's possible. But and so she basically like and they're all kind of pissed off like, well, why is Elsa get to be here? And she's like, well, she's allowed to fight like anyone else here, otherwise she would have just inherited the bloodstone, but she's welcome to join the fight. And she almost kind of wants her to because she wants her to get killed basically. And she's like, no special treatment, she's fair game just like anyone else. We do get an inkling though because her stepmom said that she abandoned her training, but then she says his training. So, you know, implying that she's been training her whole life with someone else or some other group of people for whatever reason, right? So she's not like someone who's unable to fight, and then to make matters even more difficult, they're not really outright given weapons. The weapons are like hidden throughout like the maze and the garden. So like they have to first find a weapon that's, hopefully suited, to
Well,
their
that's how you play Capture the Bloodstone.
yeah,
It's the rules we all learned when we were in
yeah,
in
like
grade
playgrounds,
school.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
recess, yeah,
hmm
like
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it was. And then you have so like they're all like gotta search for their weapons. Of course, predictably, the big guy finds like this huge axe-looking thing, which is convenient because it's just like, well, like who's to say that he wouldn't find some weapon that he didn't really like because it just happened to be where he was walking towards, whatever. And then
Yeah.
so he finds like the big thing. We hear the monster growling here and there, kind of just give people a fright. Um, Elsa is kicking ass almost immediately. She's always another nitpick, not nitpick so much, but like I've noticed that like almost in every show where women fight, like when it comes to Black Widow, when it comes to like Sarah Lance and Legends of Tomorrow, they all do the same move where they like jump around someone's neck with their hips and they like do like this weird like flip move. And like I don't know if that's just like a female move, but it seems like it's only women who do it. Like, you know what I mean? So like
What's the move? I'm sorry.
it's like they'll like wrap I'm not trying to sound weird, but like they'll wrap like their hips around your neck.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to sound crude, but that's what they
Yeah.
do. Like they'll jump up and they'll wrap like their hips around the person's neck, and then they'll do like this sort of flip move that will then like flip the person over.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that like Legends of Tomorrow, like Sarah Lance does this move constantly. Black
It,
Widow, that's like one of her things, and it's like I've only seen this being done though by
well,
female.
well, if
I
you
don't know
think
if that's
if you
just like
think about it logistically, men have genitalia there that's coming out, and
around their necks,
what's that?
around their necks.
No,
No,
why women do it, not men?
oh, I got.
So
Okay,
what I'm
sorry.
saying is that like if I were to jump up on somebody and wrap my legs around them or whatever, I would have some, junk in the way.
So what? That might even confuse me even more. But like anyway, no. But
No,
I was just
what I mean is that it would hurt.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. It would hurt you.
Yeah,
Right,
it would hurt.
yeah.
It would hurt me, so that's why men probably don't do that as
Okay, I was just
as a
wondering.
fighting move. I have seen it done. I think like on Peacemaker that martial arts guy, the character I hate to be generalization.
A vigilante?
No, there was
Oh.
the Asian character. I hate to be, generalizing by race or whatever, but that there was a character that came in who was like a martial artist of some sort. Real small little guy.
Yeah.
I think he may have done that on that show too.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He was like, he was working for one of the families.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The guy who was like obsessed with Cheetos.
I've got an image of him doing that as a move, but I could be completely wrong, or it could be another character altogether that I saw in something else because I watched so
and
much. I watched so much comic book content. It's hard to say.
Yeah. It's not so much a nitpick. It's just something I've noticed, and it could be because a lot of these women are kind of thin, of course, because it's Hollywood, But like, so maybe because men tend to have like more upper body strength, so maybe that's a way of like bringing them down. You know what I mean? I don't know, but
plus it's easier for them to do that than it would be for a bigger woman to do that.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if that could just be a strategic way of knocking someone down. But I'm just saying, I noticed that from like Legends of Tomorrow. That's one of Sarah Lance's like signature moves. Black Widow, Natasha does that quite a bit as well, or did. I think even her sister Yelena does it as well. But anyway, so she's kicking ass pretty much straight out of the gate, literally out of the gate, actually in this case. And our werewolf though, he got to go first, or got to, whatever. He was chosen first to go. So we there's some fighting going on between the hunters. So they're kind of hunting each other, trying to get to the monster first. Finally, our werewolf dude or whatever he is, I forgot his name beforehand. Oh yeah, the Jack Russell.
Yes.
Totally, the monster grabs him from the bushes. Like, oh shit! Like, is our main character or seemingly main character gonna die like midway through? Is that gonna be the big twist? But then
it's gonna be like Psycho, where we lose Marion Crane like a third of the way into the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh my god, is that gonna be the twist? But then he ends up patting the monster's arm, and then it's like smiling and laughing, and then we find out that he's actually the monster's friend, and that he was actually came there to rescue him, because apparently this is like a big problem where this monster gets caught all the time, and he's got to go rescue this monster for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then so he's like, all right, I got a plan here. The Bloodstone hurt you? Yeah, I figured they said it would do that. All right, we're gonna try to explode your way out of here and take off the thing or whatever. And he's like, I got a plan or whatever. And then like someone overhears him, talking to this monster. So then get into a big fight with that person. And then at one point, the Elsa gets slashed in the leg by one of the warriors who found like a cool dart type of handgun or something.
Yeah,
like
it was that Kirk Thatcher's character, the kind of bigger dude.
No, this was like the guy with.
It was the. Was it like the? Yeah, it was like the kind of thinner guy.
Yeah, he had like face paint on him and stuff.
Yeah,
and what really kind of got me on that was like, not so much scary, but uncomfortable. Like I get really uncomfortable watching people die on film.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is actually watching the process of them dying, not
while they're
being killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they were fighting, and she ends up finally shooting him like in like the throat with one of his darts.
Yeah, and then he dies slowly. Yeah.
And then so she hides both of them in like this like kind of something
like a pit,
and like
a pit in there or something. Basically.
He's sitting there like like seizing up and shit. He's covering his mouth so he's not making any noise, and I'm like, oh my god, like he's literally dying in front of her. Like this is like super uncomfortable. And then like the big guy somehow misses them, which is weird. And then like I don't know how he could have missed them, but he does. And then eventually she goes into like some room to kind of like try to repair her leg, and then our Jack Russell Terrier shows up and close the door, and she's like, "No, don't close the door," and blah blah blah. And it's like, "Damn it, we're stuck in." Which that was the other thing. It was like, how impenetrable were those doors? They didn't really
It
look,
couldn't have been that bad, you know.
but
And
they were
and,
like
and, and
stuck
if
in
I've
this.
learned anything in life, you don't close a door behind you unless you know you have an exit. I learned that.
Yeah.
I learned that watching a very special episode of Punky Brewster when I was a kid. So when Cherry gets stuck in a refrigerator, I'm just saying.
Oh my god, that's probably one of the first PSAs
Yeah.
about that. But sorry about that. That was just my
Oh, that's fine.
phone charging. But so yeah, he's trying to like help her. She doesn't want to get what help. Blah blah blah. Um, he convinces her to help break out the monster because I guess he just implicitly trusts her for some reason, which that's kind of a risk right there. Like, how do you know you could trust this person? Like,
Yeah, maybe he
and
did. Maybe he did some research on her or something, and realizes that
it could have been that
she's
he knows that what
she's
she's
kind
up
of a
to is
rebel to
different
her
than.
family. Yeah.
It's possible because he did say earlier that he's not that kind of hunter, so maybe he knows a bit about the families and that type of thing. So, because he kind of came from a similar family that's probably kills the hunters, so it's kind of like one of those sort of like
Yeah.
they hunt us, we hunt them type of thing. But I don't want to be a part of that. She doesn't want to be a part of that, so they're both kind of like
I'm still trying to figure
outsiders.
out how he got invited to this party.
Well, it's because he had like 100 or more kills, and
Yeah.
probably not as a werewolf, or at least they didn't know at the time that he was a werewolf
Yeah.
while doing these killings. And he could have been playing the long game of pretending to be, one of. I mean, because he did say that he has a system in place where he pretty much just shuts himself off from the world when he turns into a werewolf, so nobody knows,
Yeah.
about, basically pulling like a Professor Lupin from Harry Potter, and then so she agrees to the thing. They got these little explosive devices that he accidentally activates early, and they eventually blast out the monster. Before that though, so I'll let you talk in a second because I know I'm kind of rambling here, but
that's
like
fine.
uh, he sends her to meet the monster whose name was Ted,
Yes.
and right as she was about to be like killed by that big guy with like the axe, the monster comes out and like just like burns him to a crisp with some weird like firepower or something like that he's
Yeah.
got, and then like not even fire, just almost like incinerates him like in this weird way. And then she's like, "Oh shit!" And she's like, "Ted?" And then he kind of like, "Wait, what?" And then he's like, "Your friend is waiting for you or is about to break you out or whatever."
Yeah.
And then so like he's like, "Oh, okay." And then they eventually he finds a way to, because these explosive things are supposed to like stick to walls, but they weren't sticking, so he just kind of put it in like a corner and then blew it up, and then then Ted, you know, runs away, uh, which is weird that he didn't take Jack with him. But I think that's because Jack
Yeah.
had the plan of stealing the Bloodstone.
Yeah, he flees
for
into
some
like
reason.
a forest, and like at that time, then Elsa removes the Bloodstone from him.
Yeah, so he'd be stronger. So then Jack touches the Bloodstone, which is weird because I thought he was saying he was going to promise the Bloodstone to Elsa, but he lied. Whatever. And then
Or he was
it
trying
like,
to pick it up and give it to her, maybe.
or yeah, it could have been that too. But
Yeah.
then once he touches it, it like throws him back, and he starts like having like a seizure almost kind of. And then Verusa comes out and it's like, aha, he touched the Bloodstone and it rejected him, and I wonder what kind of breed you are and all this shit. So she figures out that he's actually a monster because they probably have some fail safe where a monster can't touch the Bloodstone or whatever.
Yeah, they say that the
That's-
Bloodstone, reacts to monsters. So
I see.
that's why it kind of weakened Man-Thing.
Yeah, so we
when it
later
was in
find
him,
out that Ted is actually Man-Thing. Well, I guess it was supposed to be all. I had no idea what he looked like, so I didn't know.
I mean, I knew just because I had seen the bad movie and also the the comic books of Man-Thing, and he looks more like the comic book form of him in this.
Okay,
Than Brett Leonard's masterpiece of a film.
Yeah, I like this version of Man-Thing better too. I think he looks cooler, and also he kind of looks like a. Well, the other thing too is like in the movie, Man-Thing was just like brutal and evil.
Yeah.
And this guy kind of seems like he's like a regular person, sort of like who just keeps getting himself trapped or captured for whatever reason. He's not very good at.
He's kind of like Snuffleupagus or something. That's what he reminds me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
A little bit. But yeah, so yeah, you want to tell like what the rest was on then, or
so Verussa captures Jack and Elsa and places them in a cage, and then she Jack knew that he only turns when it's full moon normally, so he's got like a few nights until he's going to turn, but Verussa's able to use the Bloodstone to trigger his transformation into a werewolf. But prior to that going on, he makes sure that he had smelled and is able to remember Elsa, so he doesn't kill her.
He smelled like most like her arms, her face, her neck, and shit.
So he can remember her.
She's like, "Does this work?" He's like, "Well, it worked once."
Yeah, that's a good,
Yeah,
good endorsement there for this method here. So when he's in werewolf form, that's another one nitpick I had in this movie is I didn't like I know that it was probably budgetary reasons. They had to use like kind of like CGI to create the transformation. I thought with everything else being more because like Man-Thing was an actual suit and not CGI. And
it did look a little bit more natural.
But when they did the like the makeup and stuff when he fully turned into a werewolf was practical makeup and everything, but the transformation from human into werewolf was done using CGI, and it just kind of was a little off for me, but it was okay. It wasn't like bad or anything. Then so he transforms into the werewolf, and instead of killing Elsa as Verussa had intended because he remembered her, he ends up breaking out of the cage, and he slaughters Verussa's guards, only for her to then use the Bloodstone and subdue him. While this is all going on, Elsa escapes and kills the 2 remaining hunters, because we still have more hunters there that haven't died yet. And she also stops Verussa from killing from killing our boy Jack.
Our boy.
Yeah. So the werewolf then tries to attack Elsa, but ends up sparing her life when he recognizes that she is, this woman that he smelled creepily. And
well, it wasn't being creepy. He was.
No, I know. I'm just trying to be funny.
I mean, yeah, if he was pulling like a Joe Biden and smelling people,
that's a little different.
That's one thing, but like smelling.
Ooh, I think I have a theory.
What?
Joe Biden is a werewolf, and he's just smelling. He's smelling people because he doesn't want to kill them.
Yeah, so that actually makes him like a good guy. Yeah. See, we don't only go after Trump on this.
Yeah, I know.
That's proof right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's the first werewolf president.
He's the first werewolf. No, the first.
I think that would be a good movie, a werewolf president.
Dude, that would be awesome. They call it the first werewolf.
Yeah.
Well, no, because that would mean that he
That would be the husband of the
Well,
but yeah,
we can have that too.
yeah, or the husband or wife of the
That would actually be a really cool idea.
yeah
We should work on that.
yeah.
First werewolf. Yeah, but our boy Jack, he's
yeah, he doesn't kill her. So then basically Verussa tries to kill Elsa, but is incinerated by Ted using his incineration powers. Who then leaves. He basically our werewolf ran off too, so Ted goes off to find him, and Elsa takes possession of the manor, and the little servant guy basically wants to help, and asks what he can do, and he says, "We'll start by cleaning up all these bodies and stuff,"
That guy, I love that actor so much. Like the way he, like, also like there's a scene like in the beginning, like right where he's creaking open the coffin, and like he's like pulling really hard on and he's like struggling, just like that image, like.
Yeah, that actor's name is Al Hamacher. I've never seen him in anything else, so I don't know, but he was funny.
But just like him cranking, it just had like this really creepy, because like he was like clearly struggling doing it, and
Yeah.
he was like had this weird look on his face as he was doing it. Just like, I don't know, man, it just had like a cool vibe to that.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing was cool. I mean, this whole Universal monster movie, like Frankenstein sort of feeling to it. So anyways, we have this cool scene where she's taken over the manor and things turn from black and white into color. And we hear "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" playing, which, is a nod to the fact that we start out in black and white in The Wizard of Oz, and then it becomes color,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next day we get Jack Russell awakens in the forest in his human form with Ted watching over him, and he's pleased to learn that Elsa is safe. So that's how we end, and I really hope we see these characters again.
I do too. So like, is Elsa like a good character in the is that why she wanted to take over, or does she just want to be powerful?
In the comic books, she's a I think she is kind of like she's like, the way that they're describing her is she's a young female monster hunter. There are potential similarities to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
But is she like good? Like is she like?
That's what I'm reading into. I don't know yet.
Like what I'm asking is like, if she's gonna just try to just be like, was she just trying to do like a power grab, or is it because she disagreed with their methodology?
That's I don't know. I mean, I'm looking into it, so yeah.
I would hope that she would. Well, the fact that she left the family for 20 years probably would mean, like.
Plus, it could go either way in the MCU, because they've had characters in the MCU who were clear villains in the comic books and made them like anti-heroes or other things, So I think she's more
Abomination.
Yeah.
So far we don't know. We got one more episode. But,
So yeah. As we record this, we got one more episode. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this episode, but yeah. So So I mean, she could go either way, I think, but I think she's kind of like a badass hero, but also could is probably kind of out for herself in a way too, but not. But probably like a somebody that's rough around the edges with a heart of gold sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. Like maybe she'll only kill like bad monsters, not anyone that's like got some kind of condition or whatever. Like
and the chemistry between those two actors with the characters of Jack and her, I think that they definitely, if they're gonna appear in the future, they're probably gonna pair them up again, and they'll be like maybe romantically involved, or at least a buddy kind of thing, So I
Or
could see that.
allies or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing you were talking about,
Mhm.
the superhero team of like Supernatural,
Mhm.
I forgot their name. I think they were called like Legion or something like that, or um
Oh,
shoot.
Midnight Suns.
There you go, Midnight Suns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just found it.
Uh,
Yeah, um,
I think Ghost Rider's one of them, isn't he?
yeah, the most frequent members include Morbius,
Oh God.
Blade, and at least one of the Spirit of Vengeance, meaning one of the Ghost Riders.
God.
Yeah, they've had different members, like Werewolf by Night's been one man thing. Um, uh,
Elsa,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. There's the Legion of Monsters, might be something you're thinking of too, which was is a name of a different fictional superhero team appearing in the comics as well.
No, I think I was thinking of one you were thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But
uh,
the Midnight Suns have also included Wong and Blade and
Wong, interesting.
and Moon Knight and Iron Fist and Scarlet Spider.
Ooh,
There's been different incarnations of the team. They're basically kind of like a team like the Avengers, but more supernatural type characters. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Because Moon Knight I think was one of them at one point.
Yeah, there's a character
you know,
who is also a member called Doctor Voodoo or Brother Voodoo.
interesting.
Yeah,
Brother Voodoo sounds kind of racist, but
he is a black character. So
well, I know he's calling him Brother Voodoo.
no, that's what I'm saying. That is kind of it's like
Yeah.
it's like I think he goes by either one. So he probably started out as Brother Voodoo and they changed it to Doctor Voodoo later.
See, Doctor would be
but even the combination of voodoo and then the I don't know. It's like
well, that could go either way because there are obviously black people who practice.
he came out in '73 is when he first came out, so it might as a character.
Yeah,
so it was probably that was during like the blaxploitation era. That was kind of the same time that we got Blade and we got the character like Monica Rambeau and different characters like that were kind of inspired by blaxploitation and by just African-based characters and stuff. And I think at the same time we got Black Panther and stuff, and Iron Fist and not Iron Fist. I mean, what's his face? Luke Cage. Stuff like that.
See, I only watched one season of that show.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's the other thing too. Yeah, because Brother Voodoo just sounds so.
Yeah.
And plus, too, speaking of our late friend, I think he corrected me once about that, like not like in a mean way, because like I miss Jamal so much. He was so good at like diffusing any kind of conflict, but at the same time explaining like where like a person may have went wrong or whatever, without like putting them on defensive, So like it's like I would kept talking about voodoo. I don't know how I kept on it, but I was talking, and he was like, like that's actually not the name that like they use, like the people who practice that. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that, he could have easily went on like a Twitter thing, like, oh, so you hate black people, like that's the new, Twitter, like, well, not the new, but like that's pretty much Twitter discourse of like all Twitter discourse is toxic. Doesn't matter what side you're on, but like, but yeah, Brother Voodoo, wow, but
yeah, because he was from New Orleans and that's where voodoo kind of practices are associated
like,
with. Yeah.
Half his life in Toledo and half of it in New Orleans. And, I didn't know that at first, but we did watch Man Thing with him, which was hilarious because that movie was so bad.
And it took place in New Orleans,
which took place in New Orleans, but I do remember all of us screaming, not really screaming, but just like in disgust when they killed that one guy by like basically like filling his body up with oil or something
Yeah.
like that until he like exploded from the inside. And we're like, oh my god, like that was too gross. like just too much.
Did you want to hear some trivia about this
Oh yeah,
special?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is trivia from the Internet Movie Database. I'm just going to give them credit for me stealing it. This is the directorial debut of Michael Giacchino, like I said. Among the many creative reasons behind the use of black and white in this film, the main purpose was to obscure the blood and gore in order to avoid a TV MA rating.
Oh.
So I mean, it was a cool artistic choice, and Giacchino wanted to make it in black and white to begin with, but it also helped them be able to make it a little bloodier because the blood wasn't red. For some reason, you get like if it was in color, it would have gotten a TVMA rating.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
Okay. Because Elsa literally like jammed an axe through one of those hunters' heads, like in her skull, like or their forehead,
And the thing I liked too is they actually added like film grain to it too, so it looked like it was an old like 30s movie or something.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I was gonna mention that earlier too. That you see these little spots, like
and the cool thing too is that around the 16-minute and 31-minute marks, there's what they call a cigarette burn effect appears in the top right of the corner of the screen. That was a mark that on film projectors, like on the film reel, would come up, so then the projectionist would know to start changing the reel to the next reel of the film.
Oh, okay.
Because you could only fit so much film on a reel. So like if a movie's an hour and a half, you have to a projector would have several reels on it, but you'd have to set up the next one to play after the first one or whatever.
That's awesome. I always wondered about that.
Yeah.
Like did projectors have to be like 100% on time for it to like even a millisecond would change it if there was like a
They used to have you used to have to do it all by hand, but then eventually it became more like mechanical when it came to like where it would just switch from one reel to the next. But the cigarette burns, especially like up until the 70s, would be on there, at least till the 70s and probably in the 80s even, would be on there. So like it would be something you barely notice unless you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They at the monster named Ted is better known in the comics as Man Thing, as we say. I don't think they ever call him Man Thing in this.
No.
So they Kirk Thatcher, who played Jovan, previously appeared in the MCU as Punk on the Street in Spider-Man: Homecoming. This was a reference to his role as a punk on the bus in Star Trek IV: Voyage Home. Character he later reprised in Star Trek Picard: Watcher.
Wow.
Yeah. When going through the pages of what the Bloodstone is and what creatures are affected, the first creature is Wendigo. A Wendigo first appeared in Marvel Comics in the Incredible Hulk in 1973. The Marvel Comics character Man-Thing makes his Marvel Cinematic debut in this special. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, as we mentioned, was a reference to the Wizard of Oz. We did have, while this is the first on-screen appearance of Ted in the MCU, he was previously mentioned in dialogue by Maria Hill in an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode.
Oh.
So, yeah. Which they still have yet to clarify whether Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon or not, but I really hope it is.
I think it is, because with the timeline stuff, they can easily just say that.
Yeah. I'm campaigning for it to be, because it's one of the best superhero shows ever. and
It's yeah,
I will feel that until the day I die.
yeah, man.
And if you
'Cause
have a
they could just be
and if
like,
you have a
oh,
problem with that, send me a message at mike@cullenpark.com. But first, go to our T Public and buy a shirt.
yeah, you gotta do that. So
Yeah, which I want to thank you for doing, folks.
totally, yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody for the $2 million that they sent to Sesame. I mean,
Oh,
I'm fine with the million you sent to me, but the 2 million you sent to Sesame was very generous. I'm not jealous at all.
well, we'll just pull the 3 million together, and
Well,
then we'll throw it all into Bitcoin, and then we'll just lose it all, and then uh,
well, I hate to break it to you,
what?
I already did that.
Ah, damn it! You should
I
have put it in some like.
actually what I did, I took the money and I went back in time and I bought a bunch of Beanie Babies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The thing is, though, is like I could have been so rich, not just when Bitcoin first came out, because I just had one of those instinctual feelings that this was gonna take off. Not because I really necessarily agreed with it. I just because like to me it was like, okay, so you could pretty much only buy and sell from other people who have Bitcoin, so you're kind of
yeah,
limiting who. But fine, whatever. Um, but I was just like when it first became able to buy, I think it was like 2009 or 2010. I don't remember. So I remember hearing about it, I think in 2008. Like, I don't even know how I found out about it. Some weird Reddit thread, or I don't even know what it was somehow. But then by 2009, it started to get a little bit more
I I
media traction.
I bought a bunch of Bitcoin and sent it to this online girlfriend I had.
Oh man, well,
Because her mom was in the hospital after a car accident and that was
damn.
somehow
Well,
caused by cancer. And
oh man, that sucks. But I did an estimate, like just to make myself more sad for some reason. Why not? And then
yeah,
and I was like, hey, what would $100 of Bitcoin investment be in like I think it was like 2020 when I
yeah,
did it. And like that $100 of Bitcoin would have been worth like $30 million today, or when I checked it, and I was like, yep, $100 investment would have made me $30 million. Damn it! And then not only that though, there was this other coin because now like people just make new
oh
coins
yeah,
every day. But there was a coin called Safe Moon, which started off in early 2021, and I was part of some crypto group on Facebook because I was just doing a little bit of research on it. Again, not because I care about the concept of cryptocurrency. I just wanted to make some money, so whatever.
yeah.
So a lot of people actually believe in the philosophy behind it. I don't. I think it's stupid, but whatever. If it's you can make money from it, and if it's legal, and if you're not really doing any harm, whatever, fine. That was the way I was kind of looking at it from that perspective. But because a lot of people are like libertarians and crap and like whatever.
Yeah.
And then but like the Safe Moon thing was like insane. Like I mean but like you had to like been invested into it within like 3 or 4 days from that point on, and
Yeah.
it like the percentage went up like 50,000%
Yeah,
of like
it's
what it was originally worth. So like people were literally becoming like millionaires
it's
overnight just for like $50. But I didn't have the $50 to do it, so I'm like, God damn it, And then
it's
now
insane.
that
It's
going,
like the people that like sold stock in like Microsoft or Apple like early on, like who thought, "Oh, that's going nowhere." Or, Amazon or what have you, like you never know, unfortunately.
you don't. But I had a feeling about both. That's the thing, though, and
Yeah.
so I wouldn't have sold, or if I would have set up two accounts, or
Yeah.
not, or at least section off like, okay, here's the section where if I want to sell, and I'll just play around with it, but here's the thing that I'm just going to hold on to that forever, basically. And then same thing with Safe Moon or whatever. Anyway, I don't know how we even got into this. I think
Yeah.
it's because Jack Russell's going to become a Bitcoin millionaire, and then he's going to
I'm going
end
to
up.
start a new one called Moon Knight. and it's going to be like
Yeah.
Safe Moon, but it'll be Safe Moon Night, and
Oh, I like that. Safe Moon Night. Yeah.
yeah,
And then but yeah, there's been all kinds of problems with the developers, and they keep changing
yeah,
how you're supposed to buy the coin or where you buy it. And then if you bought the original Safe Moon, that won't get converted into the new version. So then people are just like stuck with like their investment. A whole bunch of junk happened within like the preceding or the within the past year and a half or so of that happening. But yeah, like when those first like 4 or 5 days, I mean, people like we're literally becoming millionaires like with like $500 investment. The only problem was all right, how do I hurry up and convert this into another coin, and then I could then sell that into cash. So that became a whole thing where they call that quote gas money, which is basically every time you transfer one coin to another, they take a cut, and then the more you do that, the more money you lose, obviously. So like it became a whole strategy then of like, all right, well, how many coins do I have to transfer this to? Because I don't want to lose like half of my investment just by transferring this, so I could then finally convert that into actual cash. It's a whole grift. That's the reason why I don't really believe in the concept. It's a whole grift.
And if our listeners would like to learn more about this, they can tune into our new podcast, All Too Crypto. And
All Too Crypto. No, I barely know anything about this. I'm just good at speaking what little knowledge I have about it. So don't get it twisted. I'm not some kind of like expert on crypto here. I read a little bit of something, and then I can sort of memorize or extrapolate the meaning, and then I can talk about it. But I'm not.
All Too Real 2 is not responsible for any actions you take in your own life and investing.
Don't take crypto advice
from a pop culture podcast.
Yeah.
If you're taking your crypto advice from a podcast that's talking about a Marvel special,
about Werewolf, or we could do an all too coin crypto coin.
Yes.
Or an all too real an all too ruble. No, that's kind of stupid.
I'm thinking it's going to be all too Beanie Babies, and
all too Beanie Babies. Yeah.
It's where I just have 2 Beanie Babies and I talk to them.
Oh, it's just 2, as in like the
number 2. Yeah, it's just me talking to like an elephant and a kangaroo Beanie Baby. I'm just sitting there, having a conversation with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's good times. Good times.
Yeah.
You can't hear their part of the conversation, just me talking to them. It'd be like, "How you doing, Mr. Kangaroo?" And then it's like silent for like 30 seconds.
And then you hear silent. It kind of reminds me of this movie I want to hopefully review sometimes around Christmas season, because I know we kind of do like a 2-month Christmas season. We do like 8 movies of Christmas, which is fun. But there's this one where actually no, this one's not a Christmas one, or is it? I don't remember. But this girl has a dog because she just like her mom just got married, I guess, so she's got like a step family now.
Oh,
and
I know the movie.
Also a new grandfather, which is kind of a weird thing to say because I do have a new but whatever. And then but the dog knows math apparently and helps her with her math, and then
and it talks.
But then like these girls that she just met like the day before, because she just moved there, were making fun of her by calling her Christopher Columbus. Just like the weirdest insult ever.
Happy Indigenous People Day, by the way.
What's that?
I said Happy Indigenous People Day, by the way.
I thought that was yesterday. Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
So, but yeah, we will cover that. I know we will.
Because it's all messed up because they're calling her Christopher Columbus not as an insult, not for the reasons why it should be an insult, but because you sailed your way around the world but got lost. I'm like, who wrote that as an insult? That's like the dumbest. Like, you should feel insulted by yourself for even using that as an insult. Like, you should feel bad.
We can delve into that when we cover that, which I think we should do soon.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just want to say one thing about it. So she's like, well, I have a dog who can talk and helps me with my math, and only I can hear him. It's like, maybe don't flex on that because that's like weird.
But we all do. Because I know that, I mean, well, I had a cat that helped me with history. It was a weird thing. But anyway, so, but anyways, folks, go to all2real2.com. That's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you for the money. Thank you for everything you've given us.
Thank you for $1 million or $2 million.
Thanks for all the Bitcoin and Beanie Babies.
Yep.
And talking dogs.
Yep.
And werewolves.
And werewolves, yes.
And be good to each other, people. Take, give Bitcoin to your friends. Wait, no.
Wow.
To me. I'm your friend. And,
everybody give Bitcoin to Mike.
Yes.
Just like send even a few dollars, it'll accumulate pretty quickly. And then,
I'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
And just wait for a year for it to crash, but then for it to get better again, and then.
And if you want to send me a Beanie Baby, you can do that too.
Sure.
As long as it's a werewolf Beanie Baby.
Yeah. Do they even make those?
I don't know. I don't think I ever even owned a Beanie Baby. So,
yeah, me too. I don't think so.
So anyways, be good to each other. Remember that we love you, folks. We love you. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.